Bihar has witnessed a remarkable surge in the voter enthusiasm. The second and final phase of the Bihar Assembly elections have registered a historic vote. 67.14 till 5 p.m. and the latest that has come is 68.52. Now 68.52 is as per the Election Commission, which is the latest, and these are the polls which they are in front of you. Now, without wasting any more time, let me tell you that one, the voting percentage is high, so the debate is whether it's pro-incumbency or anti-incumbency. That's one. The second issue is if you look at the data, the JVC, People's Insight, and other polls, that are there, most of them are giving an edge to NDA. To discuss this, I am joined by Brijesh Pandey, our input editor. He joins me from Panditji's corner. Smita Mishra, author and senior journalist. KV Prasad, senior journalist, and Ashwini Kumar also will be joining me. Do you think that let's first of all take poll of poll full frames? Let's take poll of poll full frames. I think the numbers are getting slightly small, so that everyone can have an idea. So in the full frame, it's JVC is 135, 150 NDA, People's Insight 133, 148, Matriz 147, 167, Bhaskar newspaper 145, 160, and People's Pulse 133 to 159. And most of them have given Mahagathbandhan numbers which are not close, but they are respectable. Jan Swaraj Party is nowhere. Others, I think their numbers have shrunk. So on this, let me take opening comment from Smita. How do you see these numbers?
Yes, so you were saying that we won't know whether these good numbers, robust numbers of the voting percentage are pro-incumbency or anti-incumbency. The robust voting percentage is pro-democracy. It is an endorsement for the SIR too, because let me tell you, I met not one but dozens of such people. What had happened was they were registered in multiple locations, duplicate voting, and there were also a lot of people who were absent. The absent or untraced persons have been weeded out. Those in the voter rolls in multiple locations were actually voting in one place, but their name was in different places, most particularly married women. Most of these married women were registered in the constituency, the booth of their parents' house, as also, their address post-marriage. So that got weeded out. So it's looking like a very good voting number. But it's also a fact that there has been massive mobilization by the EC, also the political parties, to bring their respective supporters to the booths. Looking at the exit polls, as always, I will like to, hold my thought till the actual results are out. But 2-3 things you can make out from this. One, nobody at least among the polls that have come so far, maybe there are more on the cards. So from these 4 or 5 polls, you can make out that nobody is saying that the MGB is winning. So which means it is an indication of the, the way things are going. Maybe I will be little conservative with the numbers, say 167 or 160 that is being predicted for the NDA in the exit polls. Maybe I will keep it around 140, 135, 140, 145 even. So I may see the numbers slightly on the lower side. But the fact that NDA is winning, people were saying that it's not a landslide. Fair enough. But then please remember that this is it's 20 years. I mean, who gets a landslide after 20 years?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
The fact that they are winners throughout is itself an achievement.
Okay, Brijesh, very quickly, Brijesh.
Well, I would say that the kind of percentage that has come up and the number of people who have come out to cast their vote, which is the most historic till date, I would expect numbers to be far greater with one coalition than another. I don't see a close fight at all. I would be I would see if NDA is winning, NDA would be winning by a more handsome majority, and if Mahagathbandhan is winning, they will be winning with more handsome majority, because the simple reason is that if with this kind of historic mandate which has been cast in one side, and there is no apparent anti-incumbency as we have been talking from day one, then I think any side which wins will win with a historic mandate. I think a landslide is something which I would be expecting somewhere in the range of at least 150, 155.
Professor, why has the voting gone up? Now we have got the data. Why has the voting? What explains this surge in great enthusiasm and love to go out and vote suddenly in this poll? to put it simply?
I think the first thing is very clear that there is no vote chori in Bihar. I mean, like, you know, the way they have reposed confidence and trust in the electoral mechanism and the system, which also indicates that how far this mobilization, what I call Didi mobilization, has effectively, you know, incentivized, mobilized, and brought them out too. So that's very, very significant. Second, you know, a combination, Kartikeya, of factors, you know. I'm suggesting that, you know, when women are pushed to the corner, and that is the way they respond to a patriarchal political culture. So what I'm suggesting also that this election is far more historic if you look at from a feminist agency point of view. Perhaps women of Bihar is also signaling to the other parts of the country, look, you know, Bihar is changing drastically. Perhaps in that sense, this election is historic and landslide without looking at numbers of exit polls.
Mr. Prasad, your opening comments.
Well, I think the numbers do indicate that the voters had some very strong reason to go out and vote. Whatever was the commitment was.
There was a reason.
They had a reason. They
had
went
a reason,
out with the reason, and that will obviously demonstrate when they go out and the votes are counted. We'll get that data as we go along. So that's very clear. And of course, people talk about mobilization. Mobilization happened because all political parties are high stakes. The NDA had very high stakes. 20 years in power proved the incumbency factor. Mahagathbandhan, they were so close to getting the election right last time. They just lost. So they had a stake. And Tejasvi Yadav was being projected as a leader. Those two. Jan Suraj, we all been talking about, is out there. So he also would have got some of these guys come out and vote. Maybe the young, the youth. For whatever reason, I said everybody went out to vote with the reason. That's it. So that's it.
Professor, I think Prashant Kishore in one of his interviews said that either I am making the government or I am nowhere. So I think he got the assessment of his own performance right.
Yeah, I think, Prashant was very right, because see, I mean, like from my side as a political scientist, I think he deliberately chose to field, candidates in all 243 constituency. Given the background, American consulting background experience, he has managed elections, statistically brilliant, technocratically brilliant, and he knew that, in voting, system, if you spread, what we call a spatial spread, you are going to lose. If you look at the entry party history, I mean, like from economics, like Albert Hertz, in his famous thesis pointed out about, entry and exit. So this is going to be a paradox for Prashant, whether you enter or you exit, This election will show to him.
Okay, Professor, one question. I know it's slightly different, but I want all my panelists to come to it. Generally the Congress has been blaming that the Bharatiya Janata Party, they're somehow maneuvering the election or they're rigging the election. They're doing something, in context of managing it. But do you think that it's also because of the origins of these political party? For example, Bharatiya Janata Party did not have a big mass base, or Jansangh did not have a big mass base. So they focused on organization, to get everyone out. They had 20 voters per booth. So at least 19 had to vote. Congress was a people's movement, so it was a people's party. So they knew that 50 people will definitely come. So over a period of time, after so many years, the Congress lacks that organization, and that the people movement has faded away, and the BJP, which started as a small player, continued to build on that organization, which some people say Panna Pramukh or whatever, and now it gets the booster shot with Modi or whatever you may call it in terms of charismatic leadership in a Weberian way, and the magic formula is what they have. Isn't that so?
I think, Kartikeya, let us look at, from this perspective, because if you look at, historically speaking, parties like BJP, is a cadre-based party, is an ideological party, very well entrenched over time. And today is the 100th year of, RSS.
Ideologically motivated party, I'm just asking you, wasn't it?
Ideologically motivated party. But when they came into a combination, an alliance, people are not recognizing that this alliance, pragmatic alliance, goes back, 93. Nitish has been with them, in different forms. So there has been an understanding, and here I put in, something about, what Nitish learned from Bajpayee ji. He learned from Bajpayee ji to be a moderate rather than be a charismatic and leverage Prime Minister Modi's developmental populism. And this is what he did, If you look at, I looked at on the ground, and I agree with Prashant, this was not an election that I was prepared. There was no massive, mobilization. Bihar is known for all kinds of, I mentioned in my piece on Mala Achal, Hathi, Ghode, that kind of mobilization was not there. So there was something, social media mobilization. So Jivika Didi was a para-political, mobilization of unheard of, So this is where, Nitish Kumar, this is why I call Nitish advantage, and this election fully goes to Nitish, how he leveraged Prime Minister's, this Katta and Jungle Raj to feed into what we call cumulative effect of the, welfare architecture from the ground below.
Okay, very quickly, Brijesh, how much time would you give to Nitish in Bihar? Full 5 years?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see. I'll not give Prime Minister that much credit. Which is being given to him vis-a-vis how the politics is shaped as far as Bihar is concerned. Nitish had a great equation with a late Arun Jaitley. Nitish had great equation with Vajpayee ji. But Nitish's animosity with Prime Minister Narendra Modi was apparent. I mean, 2014 was one such example. The snub was there, and the interaction was more or less like is always fraught with tensions. At times it helped him to do the volte-face and switch to BJP side, but he has always used to his advantage. It has been largely Nitish driven politics. If we take NDA into consideration, it is Nitish who is leading the entire pack. Even now, with all the analysis, with all the numbers that are being thrown in, and the BJP doing that, that 101 being there, Nitish has been the big brother, whether people accept it or not, and that is the reason why I don't think that the BJP would be in a position to torpedo Nitish Kumar once after winning this particular election. If we all know what happened in 2020 and the way Nitish Kumar went about after LJP Chirag Paswan, and we saw what happened to Paswan. I think more than Jan Suraj, one party I'll be most interested in looking for its political fortune is going to be LJP Ramvilas Paswan, because if Chirag Paswan is not able to do justice or do the kind of conversion of the number of seats which he has won, I mean it could very well be a very dark chapter ahead for Chirag Paswan.
What will happen to Chirag?
Chirag Paswan will have to keep slogging as he has already done. He will remain a minister in the centre, which he already is. He will have to work to build up his party, but not only his own party, the LJP. He will also have to give the message that he is the part of the larger scheme of the NDA. They are partners for the development, for the future of Bihar. He will have to bide his time, which Prashant Kishore also will have to do very clearly. Prashant Kishore, if he is really serious about being in politics for a longer innings, then the Jan Suraj is certainly a work in progress. It will not get wiped out. But Prashant Kishore's party's fortune started dipping on two particular moments, I would say. The first was when he released his list of candidates. It was a huge dampener with all the good things that he was saying, and which was attracting a lot of traction among the youth, among the educated class, even the poor people. That list of candidates was a big disappointment.
He was absent.
Not just that. The list of candidates had all kinds of people which he was trying to tell the people who should not have been there. So that is, it was a sort of a cross-purpose kind of a situation. And the second and the biggest reason the party started, or its support started folding up, is when he announced that he is not going to contest himself. When you are not ready to get into battle, when you are not battle ready yourself, how do you exhort others to come and support you? So these were the two factors. Even then, there are seats, there are constituencies, particularly in the urban areas, where Jan Suraj is believed to have polled a good segment of the votes, and that might show in the results. But because of these few reasons, it is largely a bipolar contest. And yes, let me tell you that Nitish Kumar, you were asking Brajesh, I want to add to it. Till something really goes wrong, say he's very unwell or whatever, it has now been proved that Nitish Kumar's faculties are working very well. And till something really goes wrong, he is going to be the face of the NDA in Bihar. And I see no
Okay.
quick change in that.
Basically, made for each other है, ये कह रही है, made for each other है. Closing comment from Mr. Prasad. Do you think that he has a future, Prashant Kishore?
That is, if he has the staying power, he has to decide for himself that, okay, I've experimented politically, maybe I've burnt my fingers. Fair enough, he spent his money, time, energy, effort all throughout the last 2 years, so it costs resources of all kinds. Does he have the staying power to continue doing so?
How much time did Kanshiram take to build BSP in
Kanshiram was it was a different project, right? Kanshiram started in 84 actually.
Yes.
And it took him some time, but his consolidation was a different variety.
Okay.
Whereas this person has the political strategy, the brilliant mind that professor was talking about, he brought all that to the table, but was unable to tap what was required. Probably he's built a fertile ground for himself and Bihar politics. Let me tell you, he has injected something into Bihar politics, which I said future governments will have to face and answer and deal with it. You cannot escape it. That's my contention. Whether he is going to be there to be the player in future, that's for him to decide.
Maybe a lot of people are saying maybe he's better as a Sarthi, not as a bow wearer. But ultimately, you decide for yourself.
Karthik, I can just 2-3 things. The fastest person who actually came to power in 9 months was NT Ramarao.
NT Ramarao.
Nobody has beat that. Asu.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Came back.
Asu and NT Ramarao.
And then much later, if you push forward, Aam Aadmi Party.
Absolutely. I've really run short of time, but thank you. These are good observations. I'll remember that. It's NT Ramarao. So this is all I had on Point today. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you and good night.
भारत सरकार ने सभी देशवासियों के हित में हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस से जीएसटी पूरी तरह से हटाकर 0 कर दिया है। इससे हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस काफी सस्ता हो गया है। पॉलिसी बाजार पर अब 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 550 रुपए महीने से शुरू। policybazaar.com।
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कर आता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया।